Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to Niche Sports. The ICC World Test Championship final has concluded and the world champs are New Zealand. And we are very fortunate to be joined by Coach Gary Stead, who's at the helm of the world champs. First and foremost, let me welcome Coach Gary with a huge congratulations. And we have to say that you're deserving winners. A lot of people back home in New Zealand are very proud of what you have done. And not just in New Zealand, people all around the globe are very happy with what you have done. Joining me is also Sachin Bajaj from the Global Cricket School. So first and foremost, Gary, how does it feel to be on top of the world?
Yeah, thank you for having me again. It's been I guess a day of reflection so far when we look back on what happened yesterday, and I know the team are very proud of what we've achieved. It's never easy to go into, I guess, a world event and you end up on the right side of it at the end, and especially against such a powerful Indian side as well. So we're very pleased. We're excited for, I think, what this may do for cricket in New Zealand as well. And I think that's a really good thing that we want to, I guess, make sure that we have young cricketers in New Zealand, boys and girls that want to partake in cricket and play cricket.
Sachin, what would you like to start with?
Muting myself first. Okay. Gary, big win for New Zealand. Well deserved. And a lot of people will say, oh, they should have been 3 tests or it should have been played in another venue. I think you guys have won fair and square. You were the better team. And this brings me back to what Greg Chappell told me years ago when I caught up with him at the cricket center in Australia. What he told me was that, Sachin, Australia, small countries like Australia and New Zealand have limited player pools. So we have to innovate and do things very differently from what India can do, because you have a larger talent pool. And we have to tailor make our systems with the limited players. You've got 6 first-class sides, and with that, you have proved that you are the best test team in the world. What, according to me, is the big winner for this? New Zealand won, yes, but every small country is going to say, if New Zealand have done it, we've got a chance to get better. Whether it's Ireland, it's Scotland, it's a small country like Vanuatu. I'm not saying they'll become test cricketers, but they will take inspiration from New Zealand's win. I'm sure Tim Cutler, who's their CEO, will be the world's happiest man, because he's got a small pool to work with. He's never going to want to play test cricket or ODI cricket, but this will be, according to me, is the greatest inspiration for any team, that things are possible if we do it correctly with whatever limited resource, with the right application, with the right mindset, with the right planning. This is where you can get to. So according to me, what I reckon, this is a tectonic and a paradigm shift in test cricket.
Yeah, and well, from my perspective, thanks for those kind words. I hope that people out there, I guess, see that amazing things can happen. As you say, we do have a small, I guess, talent pool compared to other countries, and we have to make sure that the people that we invest in, firstly, are the right people, that they have great character and stuff as well. Because when it comes to being out there in the middle and that real fight, that's essentially what you're looking at. I don't think the difference in skill when you get to the very top level is so big that everyone looks at really different. Skill levels are very good, and people who get to this level are very good players. I think the difference in perhaps the very best and the very good is all about the mind and the ability to, I think, control emotions at the big time. And I guess that's what was really pleasing from my perspective, is the way we went about doing that.
Gary, there was a lot of rain around, and for the longest time, it looked like the match would be a draw, particularly getting into day 5 with the situation that you were in, still batting in the first innings. Did you at that stage, what was the main talk in the team? Where did you want to force the game towards?
Yeah, we were actually hoping to bat a little bit longer than what we did and hopefully score some more runs. We thought first innings runs were going to be very important on a pitch that was wearing, and we knew that Ashwin and Jadeja would become more and more apparent in the game as it went on, and they were obviously very, very dangerous players for us as well. So to get any lead was good, but we were hoping, I guess, for an 80, 90, 100 run lead if possible. But India bowled very well and they placed us under pressure. And I remember that first morning, we only scored about 40 runs and we lost 3 wickets, I think. And we had a bit of a chat in the lunch break around making sure that we still had a presence out there and that we were prepared to, I guess, fire some shots back at India as well and not let them dominate us quite so much. And so that was important in the game. I think that fifth day that we could still push on. And then we picked up, I think one of the key turning points is picking up Rohit late in the day as well, on day 5. And it just built that little bit more confidence that there is a chance here. And we obviously still needed to do well day 6 and have things go our way a little bit as well. And it worked out well. It was an amazing game of cricket, it really was.
Gary, where does Watling go from here? He's had a great career as far as I'm concerned, and I think, I'm not saying he'll be a big loss, but wouldn't New Zealand cricket want to use him in the system somewhere? Maybe work with someone like Brian Stronach, maybe go to the Auckland Aces or go and work with Dion at our Canterbury franchise. I mean, it's so important to keep someone like him in the system for what he's achieved and what he's given. For me, a country like yours would use someone like Watling. I'm a big Watling man, and I've never met him, but I really support what he's done for your cricket. And it just gives me great pride that he's ended his career on such a high. All I'll say is what a way to go. But my question is, should he go, and how would you keep him in your system?
Yeah, great question. At the moment, BJ is a bit of a pest, actually. He's running around enjoying the moment and he's been fantastic fun to be around as well. Look, I think BJ Watling has a potential to be a cricket coach in the future. He's already showing signs of potentially going down that way a little bit more. He's got a great cricket brain on him, and he loves, I guess, talking about the game and helping people out. And I think that's one of the key things that I will remember about BJ is his willingness to put the team ahead of himself and to go and to really, want to genuinely help people become better as well. So he's a great team man. Where he'll end up, I'm not sure. I suspect when people retire from the game that they probably want to get away from it for a while. He's got a young family now, and he'll want to spend time with the family before getting straight back into any coaching roles as well. But certainly from my perspective, we'll be talking with BJ about his future as well and seeing where that might end up from a cricket perspective.
Kyle Jamieson did extremely well, of course. He was the man of the match. He's troubled India. And I was looking at the numbers. His numbers are simply phenomenal. As you've got if you look at the numbers, you've possibly got a superhuman all-rounder. And where do you see his career going from here? And what were his plans, particularly on the final day, bowling to Pujara and Kohli, because that opened up the game for you?
Yeah. Look, Kyle's rise in Test cricket in particular has been quite phenomenal. I think he's 7 or 8, maybe 8 tests that he's played now. He's right up there with the best players in the world in terms of how quickly he's getting to 50 wickets and that type of thing. And remember that this is his first tour away playing as well, from New Zealand. So he's played all his games in New Zealand until this tour where he played at Lord's and he played in the final here at the AGS Bowl. But he's got some attributes that other people just simply don't have. He's got height, so he gets bounce when he bowls. He's got some sensational ability to control the ball. In terms of the plans against India. One of the things we talked about as a bowling group was making sure that we were still doing things together. It wasn't just a Kyle Jamieson show or anything. So I think the way him and Tim Southey bowled on that last morning was really instrumental in Kyle picking up those wickets. And Kyle bowled very, very well after lunch, but also didn't pick up wickets then. I think it was Trent Boult and Neil Wagner that picked them up. So it's about for us bowling in partnerships and understanding what that means in their role. So for great players like Kohli and Pujara and that, it's just putting them under pressure for long, long periods of time. And that's all we tried to do with all the Indian players.
Steady, going to captaincy now. I always considered Mark Taylor to be the greatest captain of the modern era, but I think Kane Williamson has now taken it to another level. I think every captain in world cricket will now be compared to Kane. He's narrowly lost a World Cup final in the 50-over format. He's the captain of the winning New Zealand team of the first ever World Test Championship. A man of very high integrity, values, and leadership. I think when the history of this game is written 25 and 50 years from now, don't you agree with me that he will go down as the greatest captain in this game of the modern era? What are your thoughts on that?
Good. Yeah, Kane's record is very, very good across all formats as well, and I think that's a little bit systematic of the players that we have in our group as well, who are performing well. We're in a situation now where we have a number of players who are reaching, their peaks of their playing. They're all around about that 29, 30 sort of age group. They understand what international cricket's about, and they work hard for each other as well. Kane's an amazing person. He, as you say, he has fantastic integrity. He's a great human being. People want to be around Kane Williamson, and that's always a great thing. I mean, my belief around leadership is that actions speak louder than words, and that Kane epitomizes, what we're trying to do as a team as well. He works very hard. He's humble in the way he goes about things. He's quite understated, but we certainly appreciate the value that he brings to our side.
One of the greater moments of day 6 was when Neil Wagner got Ravindra Jadeja, and it was quite a trap with the leg side field, and then he comes round the wicket to the left-hander, getting it away and getting the edge. It just was brilliant to watch the way he did it. And as one of my co-commentators here, when I was commentating on the game, he said Neil Wagner is an energizer battery. He'll run in and day out and give you the same kind of pace, same kind of effort. A word on that dismissal as well, and what Neil Wagner signifies to you.
Yeah, Neil is one of the toughest competitors that I have seen with the ball. He's 5'9", 5'10". It's not like he has amazing physical attributes, but what he has is a very, very big heart that will just keep running in and fighting for his teammates. And he's made, a niche in terms of that shorter sort of pitch bowling, and the ability to be so accurate with that is what stands out to me. He's certainly not trying to hit people in the head every ball, but he's trying to get you up under the armpit in areas that are very, very difficult to score from. And if people want to take him on, then they run that risk of also getting out. But Neil's been a very special member of this side for a period of time. And for a guy that doesn't play white ball cricket for New Zealand, I know he would love to, but in terms of our group, he hasn't played that. This is his world test, his world final opportunity, and he certainly made the most of it.
Steady. What about our unsung hero? I reckon one of the greatest managers of a cricket team. He's in the background all the time. Mike Sandel. He's played a huge role. Another man who personifies grace and dignity and very strong values. I'm sure he'd be a very proud man today, and his role would have been something very special with what he's done with New Zealand cricket over the last 8 or 10 years. He's been the manager.
Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, Mike Sandel-Roman, as we know him, has been, I think, for about 10 or 11 years now, been part of the New Zealand setup and the team. And he's seen, I guess, some pretty dark times early on when we were bowled out for 45 versus South Africa in South Africa. And you see, I guess, over time, the development of the guys. And I know him and I were having a bit of a chat earlier today just about, yeah, how far the team's come, how proud we are of, I guess, what's in place, but probably most importantly, how proud we are of the people that they are as well within the team. They're very, very good ambassadors as New Zealand people, and that's the most important thing for us as well, that we come across, we play hard, but we play fair, and yeah, he's extremely proud, as we all are, as all of our support staff are as well, of our players and the way they've gone about it.
Gary, it's really amazing that you just mentioned the 45 all-out in South Africa in 2013. That is where, that whole genesis started, with Brendan McCullum setting the values for the team. The 2015 World Cup final, yes, Australia were better on the day. 2019 was heartbreaking. So would you say this success has been a culmination of an 8-year-long journey, starting from the 2013 game, and those heartbreaks that you had in the middle? Is it the culmination of all that?
I think it definitely is part of it, yeah. I think when Brendan McCullum and Mike Hesson sat down and they started to shape a little bit more around the way they wanted to see New Zealand teams play the game. And I guess from there, we're trying to keep building on that as we go. You don't own, I guess, the hat, the New Zealand silver fern or anything like that. I guess we look at it that you're only a custodian of that hat for a period of time, and you move on, and you want to make sure that when you leave your time with the silver fern on, that it's in a better place than what it was when you started. And a lot of that is values-based stuff. As I said earlier, I think the skills of the cricketers, when you get to that very elite level, they're all quite similar. Obviously, there are some greats in that as well. So it then comes down to just the little things, the character of the people, that are most important.
Gary, I'm sure you would have already started planning for the next cycle of the World Test Championship. If I know you, you've got your notes as to who your players are and how it's going to evolve over the next 2 years. I know you have a small matter of a T20 World Cup to go and win, which you'd be favorites for taking. I know the formats are different, taking this form and this momentum and everything that goes with it. But knowing you, you'd have already started planning for the next cycle of the WTC here.
Yeah, well, I guess it's an ongoing thing. We go from format to format. We actually have quite a run of T20 fixtures in the near future. So from here, we go home for a month or so, and then we're Bangladesh, Pakistan, T20 World Cup, and then back to India for the test matches as well. So we have to sort of prepare 2 or 3 different playing lots for at the moment, as well as, I guess, getting through our winter. And we also have a large number of contingent of our players who will be over here playing in the UK as well. So that we have people all around the world. And yeah, I guess that's my role as the coach, I think, Sachin, and what you're saying is to have that big overview of what's going on. And I try and keep that at the forefront of my mind, while also allowing the coaches around me to, I guess, be a little bit more focused on the day-to-day running of the team right now. So it's a little bit of combination of how you plan and win tomorrow, but how you also look to the future for the big things.
Gary, when we had a chat before the game, you said you are preparing as if you're going to face 2 spinners, and you eventually had to. But do you think possibly India missed a trick by playing a 4th seamer?
Well, I'm not sure. There's always hindsight, and you can always look at those things. But I guess there weren't a huge amount of spin overs bowled, but there were only about 310 overs bowled the whole match. So, and obviously the ball was seaming around quite a bit. So the the seam bowlers were still a handful. I mean, the way that the Indian bowlers bowled very well. We had a little bit of luck. We had balls go past the edge and stuff like that as well. But I thought Mohammad Shami and the way he bowled that first innings, he bowled some very, very good spells of fast bowling that was a real challenge to us as well. And I guess for me, I'm just grateful that we got through some of those spells without more damage than what we did.
Just very, very happy that you guys have won. I'm a little sad that India hasn't, but it's good for cricket that you have won. And all we want you guys to do is enjoy the moment. And, really, I mean, well, the cricket team has put the All Blacks in the shade. So, that's a big one. I mean, where rugby dominates all islands of your country today, cricket shining and it's taken the center stage and well deserved, and just very happy for you guys and very, very proud of you guys to see some of our friends do well. That's all I have to say.
Oh, thanks, Sachin. Yeah, I mean, it's the middle of our rugby season back home at the moment, so it's nice that people are talking about cricket and that we've given that buzz, I guess, to our little nation back home as well. So, yeah.
Bledisloe Cup forgotten for some time.
I think so.
But Gary, one more question. Now, this is about one player who I feel definitely is not given as much credit by world cricket. He averages 48 in ODIs. He averages 45 in Test cricket. He hit the winning runs for you. Ross Taylor, I think, definitely must count amongst the modern greats considering his record. How does New Zealand value him? Because in a sense, everyone talks about Kane Williamson for New Zealand, but not as much as a Ross Taylor, who actually has been phenomenally consistent for your team.
Absolutely, and Ross is our longest, I guess, serving player who's been in the team for the longest, and he's been through some of those dark times that I talked about earlier, and he's seen, I guess, the evolution of the team over that side, and he's, I guess, a real figurehead within our dressing room as well, and people look to Ross for his experiences and making sure that he can share those, which he willingly does. There's no doubt in my mind, Ross Taylor is will end up as one of New Zealand's greats as well. As you've said, he has a phenomenal record and across the formats, and for us, I guess it's not about age or anything like that with Ross Taylor. We want Ross to finish when he feels it's right for him and on his terms as well. So when that will be, I'm not sure, and we hope we can get a lot more out of Ross Taylor still.
Absolutely. And Gary, it is really amazing. It isn't often that even after a country has lost a World Cup final, that in a sense, a lot of people are happy for the opponents. And that really is a mark of what New Zealand has been to world cricket. And it's a credit to you. It's a credit to Kane and the way this team has carried itself over the years. And finally, that you have the silverware, it is well deserved. And it is a sight that really, really tugged the heart of cricket fans all over the globe.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, we appreciate the support that we get, not just from New Zealand, but all around the world. I think, it shows, I think, that maybe nice guys can win at times as well. And I think that's a good message for people to hear.
100%. And you've really summed it up, and it is really motivational. Thank you so much for joining us from Southampton. We wish you a very good journey back home, and we are waiting to see New Zealand this time in the black jersey and playing with the same passions, playing with the same intensity.
Yep, and we're looking forward to coming back to India to play test matches as well in November as well. So certainly looking forward to...
Hey, I'll be at the airport to receive you, whether there's bloody quarantine or not.
I look forward to it.
Yes, there will be many people waiting, Sachin including. There will be many people waiting to receive you at the airport. People will be there. People will welcome you. And yes, once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here on Niche Sports. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon for all the updates, and follow us across all the social media platforms. And I end it again by congratulating New Zealand on their World Test Championship victory.